Well, the 2021 season of the Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship kicked off at Auckland's Mount Smart Stadium. The series returning to the venue after 7 years away, and after a day of competition with the restricted class, the track was getting some much needed repairs before the big ponies came to party. Returning to the field was last year's runner-up Taylor James, based out of Tokoroa. The 2NZ back with a new livery and a refreshed RB30 powered S14.
Alright, Taylor James, it was a hell of a title fight last year. You're back again for another dash at the 2021 season. How's it all going?
Yeah, good. It's been stressful with the car, trying to get it all sorted and going. Yesterday we had the gearbox out, put a new clutch in there thanks to Jesse. Got all that back together, and yeah, feels all good now. New livery on the car, it's all looking good. Good setup. Gone to a different diff this year, wise fed front and rear and all that, so now it should be a bit more competitive. So.
Never driven this track before?
Never driven this track ever. I've watched every YouTube video of it to see what it's like, having to play on the simulators and stuff like that. But yeah, looks good. We come watch yesterday, and there's some good driving. Good, like the track looks quite grippy actually. So hopefully it'll be good and get some good car pace out there.
There was plenty of new colours and liveries on show. Bruce Tannock bringing back the two-tone on his immaculate S13. The boys from Team DSR also bringing some silverware to the party. Adam Davies behind the wheel of his 20B rotary-powered 180SX. Dave Steedman was also back in new colours as well, his RB-powered Sylvia bringing plenty of limiter. Northland's Liam Burke was back to defend the Drift King title, putting the finishing touches on his 2JZ-powered S13, a new livery on the car ready for battle.
Yeah, well, as you can see behind us, we have a lot still going on. We got half the graphics on yesterday, so that was a 2 AM finish for us. I'm going to put our sponsors on today, and yeah, the absolute pump for Mount Smart. I mean, every event obviously I always rush to get to, as you know, but yeah, super excited for this one. Had to turn on my simulator on this one, and the two square walls, like your zone, your first clip and then your second clip, they just seem so like there's going to be so much carnage there. Like, there's definitely going to be crashes, I reckon.
Well, we expected carnage, and there was. Another Northlander in the mix was Scott Dinsdale in his 2JZ S13, stacking the angle on and sending it deep into the wall. Scotty makes the big leap into the Pro Series this year. Joining him was a number of wildcards, with the top 3 from the Pro Sport restricted class getting the invitation to compete the next day and swap paint with the best. One of those was Shannon from SDR Motorsport, smashing the wall in the final battle of the Casper Series the night before and jumping into Andy Donohue's V8 powered S14. Unfortunately, the wall jumped out at him again in the second outer zone, and that looked like an expensive weekend. Two-time champ Fanga Dan was back in action in his Ford Mustang RTR, this time with the Coyote motor bringing the V8 bark. Andrew Redward was back in his LS-powered FC RX7, and Hamilton's George Myberg was also back to shred some rubber in his stroked LS3-powered S14. Fresh from becoming a circuit racing champion, two-time Drift King Darren Kelly was the man to beat in qualifying, although it wasn't without melting the rear end on his R35 GTR.
Yeah, it's been a pretty interesting day. Gone from setting half the car on fire to qualifying first, so it's been quite a range of experiences today. But yeah, car feels really good. The track's starting to get better, and yeah, just figuring out the line, what the judges want, and trying to just bring it all together. There's a long way to go. The season's a very long season, and anything can happen, but yeah, it's definitely a good place to start, and we'll keep fighting and see where we can end up tonight.
A sellout crowd started to pack in the stands as the main event got underway at Mount Smart. It was Darren Kelly taking on Bruce Tannock's Nissan S13, and Darren making mistakes, Brucey causing an upset with a win through to the top 8. Defending champion Liam Burke lined up against last year's Pro Sport winner Russell Vere. It was carnage with the wall though, Liam moving through to the top 16 against Andrew Redward. Redward qualified in P4. His quick and agile FC RX7 was producing clean runs throughout the night, and Liam Burke was unable to catch him. Redward through to the top 8. There was more carnage in the top 16. Sean Potros having a moment with the wall in his battle against Michael Thorley. And with the sun heading down for the day, the track condition was a little slippery. Fanga Dan in the top 16 pushing a little wide on entry. Adam Davies taking a spin. A tough call from the judges to put Fanga through to the top 8. There was a big 2J vs RB clash between Dave Steedman and Ben Jenkins. Steedman putting on a strong lead run, but the victory would go to a solid drive from Ben Jenkins in a new look GT86, grabbing a win into the top 8. Well, you win some and you lose some. Ben's teammate and brother Troy Jenkins had to take on big bad Bruce Tannock, who just may have had some E85 for breakfast because he was pedaling hard into the semi-finals. The top 8 saw Fanga Dan take on Jaron Olive Kroner, sporting a new look Hartley V12 S14. Fanga Dan moving through to the semi-finals. Gargan Kang was having a tough time shaking off a quick little FC RX7 in the chase. Andrew Redward hunting down that RB30 Skyline to a spot in the top 4. One of the biggest battles of the night was current 2NZ Taylor James in his S14 and Ben Jenkins in his fresh 2JZ Monster, both drivers pushing an OMT, Taylor James smashing his lead runs. Tay couldn't fend off the attack from Ben Jenkins though, chasing him hard and grabbing the win through to the semi-finals. Semi-final number 1, Hamilton's finest Bruce Tannock taking on Andrew Redward in the FC. Tannock stroked RB30, unable to match that grunty little LS out in front. Andrew Redward grabbing the win. Semi-final number 2, another V8 vs Turbo Scrap 2-time champ Fanga Dan taking on Ben Jenkins. The 2J GT86 making a few little mistakes, but otherwise putting on a strong lead. Fanga Dan though pushing too wide, lining up the final switch. Jenkins through to the final. This would see Fanga take on Bruce Tannock for 3rd. Mega Turbo S13 couldn't match the Century Battery's Ford Mustang RTR. Fanga grabbing 3rd place for the night.
So I had some really awesome battles. My first battle was with Adam Davies. Cooked it pretty hard on the entry, just the temperature change, we just sent it a little bit too far and managed to pull it off, which I was super stoked. And it was a real bummer that he backed out of it. He thought I was going into the wall, and yeah, like I'm really gutted that he felt that way. Bruce Tannock in the top 4. He's been driving on form all day, and it's super cool to see him, especially at these concrete rounds. You know, he runs an absolute awesome car. He doesn't want to scratch it or bend it. He put it all out there, and really cool to see him do well here. Finished 3rd, got on the podium, super pumped. That's an awesome start to our season, and I'm pumped. It's cool.
The final battle of round 1 was a bit wild from the chase car. Ben Jenkins struggling to keep things settled in that GT86. Andrew Redward running a drift clinic all night long to take the victory for round 1 at Mount Smart.
Well, it's nice. We've ended up
our first event in the Carter's Tyres, North Shore 2886. We finished in second place and made it into the final against good friend Redward. So it was almost a repeat of Wellington a couple of years ago when we ended with a bit of contact, but he just pipped me this time, and I just made a little error on my chase, getting a little bit too close and then offline. So it's been a hell of an event. My crew, my parents, my family, my brother Troy, spotter Craig Marshall, James from JT Performance has done a hell of a job with Tom Hughes from Hughes Race Engines on these cars. These cars were bare chassis pretty much just last week on Tuesday, so what a hell of an effort. I'm just looking forward to this season now with this package. So we've got a new tyre under us, we've got a complete new setup in these things with some partners that have come on board. I'm really excited to head to round 2. Maybe now we can get a little bit of sleep and then regroup. So it's been a hell of an event here.
Hey, Andrew Redward won round 1 of D1NZ Mount Spartan Stadium, and we had some epic battles. First off, we had Liam Burke, went to it one more time, his last season's champion, so it was pretty intimidating coming up against him. You know, I've seen him grow from a Fanga's crew member through to, driving old Fanga's cars, and now he's just ripping, so that was a cool battle. Then we finally got to battle Bruce, battle Gagan, and final battle with Troy. We had a blast, man. It was a good time, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of the crew, pretty proud of my team and all my supporters. They really pulled together to get me here in the last few weeks, and yeah, I'm stoked to be back. I actually wasn't planning on doing the event, but yeah, I had a few people that was just pushing, saying, you should get back out there, and the car was already ready. It had gone over to Europe, but we had COVID, so couldn't do anything there. Came back in one piece, ready to go. Just walk up to the event. It's just got a stock LS2 with a cam in it, so I'm not making huge power at the moment, but it gets the job done. This track's actually really cool. I remember it being quite fast and fun back in, I think it was 2014, the last time we drove it. And yeah, it definitely didn't let down.
Well, some epic victory skids to finish off the night. The opening round of the Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship 2021. The next round getting underway at Manfield Raceway in Fielding. If you're around the lower North Island, do come along to enjoy the action as the cars pluck fourth gear and stretch the legs. Cheers for watching all the highlights. We might do more of these in the future. For more content and extra drift videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel or take a gaze at our website, oversteertv.co.nz. Ciao.